This conference will now be recorded.
Lily, I know I keep saying it, but the flowers, like they are amazing this year. They're just
Oh,
gorgeous. They
are
get
they?
better and better. It's just such a lovely thing to see when you come through right now. They're just so gorgeous.
They're ginormous.
They are. And
They're ginormous.
maybe because everything's slowed down, I'm now paying attention, but maybe
No,
they're always that gorgeous.
still huge. They're very, very big. They
Yeah.
are. They are. But it was a very good year for the
Yeah.
flowers, that's for sure.
Apparently. Yeah. All right, there's Dan.
Okay, I'm going to call the meeting to order. Do I have a second?
Lampier second.
Thank you. Dorothea, could we have a vote?
Sure. Trustee Lampier,
Lampier, aye.
Trustee Stetser, Trustee Stetser.
Yeah, she looks frozen.
Yep. Trustee Keating,
Keating, aye.
Mayor Corby,
That connection.
Corby, aye.
All right.
Trustee Stetser.
That's her eye.
Motion passes.
Okay, first item we have is a request from the Colonial Bell they would like to permission to dock 2 days a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays between 2 and 3 o'clock to do one run to Pittsford where they would either pick up passengers or let people with bikes off. So the idea is they would like to run a cruise because of social distancing, they have to reduce their capacity so people can take bikes on their boat. And they'd like to have a cruise where people bike one way from Fairport to Pittsford and ride the boat the other way. So this would require a non-municipal use permit through the end of the boating season at the end of October for twice a week. And we would also have to waive a 45-day waiting period subject to the normal insurance requirements. The proposed docking location would be at the far end of the dock that Sam Patch docks at. That's an appropriate spot because that section was built by the authority, I don't know, 5-6 years ago. So it wouldn't be subject to some of the undertow things that are happening with the rest of the dock. So this is semi-informational, but there isn't much season left. And Tammy Poinen, who runs the Colonial Bell, contacted me over the weekends and submitted the request.
Did they submit a form?
They didn't. I think this was kind of a spur of the moment thing. We were having a special meeting today, so I told Tammy that I would discuss it with the rest of you and get the feedback back to her.
Is there, I remember some earlier concern about maybe it wasn't the Colonial Bell, but just about what the embankment could take. They'll be very gentle when they come in, and is there any risk to damaging the whatever?
I've discussed all of that with her. I think this section of the dock is a pretty safe place to do it. We probably, if we did decide to approve it, we would have some conditions that they would be liable for any damage that was done to the dock.
And do we need to talk to the Sam Patch as well, since they're kind of sharing space, or is just as a courtesy?
This wouldn't conflict with the Sam Patch because this would be the yes, certainly as a courtesy. This would be at the far end of the dock, so they wouldn't be sharing the same docking space. It would be on the other side of the pavilion, as far close to Main Street as you could possibly do it.
Gotcha. Okay. I understand now where the location.
So Bob, would they be coming in at the next meeting with an actual application? No?
They should do that. I did tell her before that she needed to fill out an application and she didn't do that. So I think that's reasonable, but I think what I would ask for today is just your general feeling. If you support it, or do you think it's conflict? That's, we haven't discussed this yet, so now's the time.
I like the idea of encouraging people to
Okay.
bike here. So that's my,
Mhm.
Yeah.
Dan and Lily, how do you guys feel?
In general, this is one of these things that it's being supportive of businesses during COVID. So I'm gonna side on the side of it. Just want to make sure that we want to, that it's all documented properly and that kind of thing.
Okay, so, if I can call her later today and ask her to fill out the form, make a submission, and we'll deal with it as soon as we have our next meeting.
Yes, okay.
Lily, do you have any thoughts?
No, the only.
Do you agree?
Yes, I think yes. They may be having issues in Fairport because of the bridge. I'm not certain. But I understand that, we certainly want to encourage any tourism that's being offered to us. The concerns would be, the weight of that ship is more than anything that we have had docked there previously. So we would want to make sure that our infrastructure is up to it. And that as far as their passengers coming on and off the boat, we would want reassurances and some sort of documentation as how they're handling exiting and entering on that ship, where they're coming off and how the people are managing their bikes with the towpath right there. Those are the kind of things I think that I would like more information regarding when they make their application and their presentation.
Hey, can
In my
I?
conversations with her, excuse me, let me just finish, Dan. I did discuss with her because I was concerned that the mooring anchors on that part of the concerned me. I also said we would need some information on where people would park. Currently, because the Towpath Bike Shop is moving to where Victor Furniture was, that building is currently vacant. Some of those parks are actually on Canal Corporation land and are non-designated. There's also the reason I suggested this location for the boat is there's also additional parking that is usually vacant along North Main Street. So I think another thing that we would expect to have in the application is the number of people expected and the maximum number of people expected to dock there, so we know what we're dealing with and we're not causing conflicts for existing businesses along Shane Place. Yeah, Dan, go ahead.
Yeah, so I'm wondering, my challenge is that we're almost 3 weeks from the next time that we're going to meet. I'm wondering, I completely trust Bob and Steve in this. Is it okay for us to kind of approve it pending, as trustees, pending Bob and Steve's review? Because we're running out of
with condition.
Yeah, because we're running out of season.
Yeah, that's a good point, Dan.
I'd hate for a business to have to wait 3 weeks only for us to tell them, yeah, sure. So if the application is good and right, I'd be okay with Bob and Steve approving it.
are we allowed to do that?
You could approve it.
That's my question.
Yeah. How quickly can she get it together tomorrow? And or if it's just we need to have something. Yeah. Are we allowed to just allow Bob and Steve to do that?
You could do it with conditions, and the conditions that I would suggest would be what I mentioned before: assurances that the dock won't be damaged, a schedule and a number of passengers maximum, and what's expected at each docking, conditions on where those passengers park, and meeting the normal insurance requirements that we require with every non-municipal use permit. And I think there's a waiting period here that we would have to waive. So those would be the conditions that I would suggest. I think if we did that and also submission of a complete form, that would be another condition.
Yeah.
May I suggest that we have, when you have all of the information, that we have a special meeting, and then we can vote on it, and then we followed our process in a consistent way as with all the other non-municipal use permits. We could speed up the process.
Dorothea, what's
but I
the
hope-
soonest that we could schedule a special? This wouldn't be an emergency meeting. This
It would
wouldn't
have
be
to
an
be-
emergency meeting. This would be a 72 hours. So that would be Monday would be the soonest we could do that, I'm guessing.
Yep. Monday would be your date.
Well, that's better than
Well,
3
that
weeks.
wouldn't hold them up. Because if we did it Monday, then they could potentially start on Tuesday.
Tuesday.
So
Yeah,
why don't we do that? That would seems to work with everybody. So that's what I will suggest.
Okay.
Actually, I'm not gonna be here Monday. I
Well, I
could,
mean, I can start,
Okay.
I can start the go-to.
Tuesday,
and
well, I can do the meeting from home. What time frame are we looking for? Do you want to do like a 3 PM again, or you want later?
Monday
I'm open.
does work
yeah, I
for
can
me.
do morning. I'm going to be out of town, but I'm working from out of town. So,
excuse me, this is Captain.
okay. Because Dan has admin capabilities, but we need the clerk to be here for the meeting. So,
We need
or
a
someone.
secretary. We
Yeah.
need a secretary present. Mary
Yeah.
and Linda aren't 100% comfortable. So, I mean, they can do the minutes, but making sure everything's going off and the recording. I know Dan can do it, but
Yeah.
I'm
He can do
home.
the
I can-
logistics, but okay.
I'm home. I can log in. It's no big deal. We're not going anywhere.
Okay.
I'm just watching grass grow. So
Yeah, it will only take us about 10 or 15 minutes, I would think.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
it'd be a short thing. So I have
Yeah.
no problem with that.
I feel more comfortable. I think Lily's right. I just feel more comfortable about that process without
Okay.
having anything in writing.
Yeah, then we're consistent.
Yeah. Yeah. And then we're, yes. Where did Bob go?
I'm not sure. He's
Um,
upstairs, so I know he's here.
Okay.
Do we want to just schedule that now? Sort of,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah,
So is that at what time?
that's the question I had left the board at. What time do you want?
Let's see, that's the 24th.
I'm basically free that whole day, which almost never happens, so take advantage of it.
Yeah, would it be helpful to do it in the morning so that she
Yeah.
could, I mean, if she can get all her stuff together. I don't know what Bob, when Bob is available. And I don't know, is Frank,
Frank
out of-
should, I'll email him and see if
Okay.
his availability for next week.
yeah, I mean, if we're
Well-
talking about a 5 minute, 5 or 10 minute discussion, which we think it will be, this will be
Do
the only
we-
thing. If we don't cram other things into the meeting.
Do you want me to do a tentative like 10 a.m.? Everybody game for that?
Yeah,
You
that
know,
works.
I have a standing 10 a.m. check-in with a customer, so 10:30 or 9:30.
9:30 is fine. Right? Should we put it at 9 instead?
Oh.
Oh, is that too? Sorry. Sorry, Lily. 11?
Okay.
Is 11 better?
I think we're back at 10:30.
That's funny.
10:30.
This is where video is helpful.
Yeah.
I got that body language loud and clear.
Okay, I'll put out tentative notice for 10:30. If there's a problem, I'll touch base with everybody.
Okay, great.
Perfect.
Resolve that.
Perfect.
Do we want to continue? You want me to check on Bob and see what's going on?
The next item on the agenda is mine, and Bob already knows part of this, so I can start if you all
Okay.
are okay with that. About a month ago, Hopper, which is a bike share company, it approached us, and Supervisor Smith and I met with them. They are part of the Reimagine RTS rollout. And if you recall, when they talked about the mobility zones and how RTS is going to be changing, part of the whole rollout and part of the grant was to provide bike share at wherever there are mobility hubs. And our mobility hub is going to be at St. John Fisher, the Park and Ride, and that's when you're going to get off the bus, and then you can get a microbus And then one of the things that you can also do in that region is participate in bike share. So the first step was for Hopper to reach out to the town and village of Pittsford, and they're doing it in all the municipalities to find out if we're interested. And this is different than when PACE came to the village, PACE formerly Zagstar, in that this is not going to cost us any money because it's part of the grant that RTS received. So it seems like a no-brainer to me to engage with them. And the first step is to just have each of our boards agree. We need to have an official motion to negotiate with both Hopper and RTS. And so this doesn't commit us to anything. What it does is show them that we're interested, and that way they will take the next step to look at where our hotspots are and work with us to figure out where the stations would work and where they wouldn't work. And we already mentioned that we want to be mindful around towpath bike, the fact that they rent it, and it's a little different because typically those are more recreational riders. So anyway, they already have that on their radar. The town of Pittsford board has already agreed to engage in discussions. So if we are interested as a village, we need to pass a motion to engage in discussions with Hopper and RTS about bike share.
I see no harm in that, so I would be in favor of engaging in discussions.
Okay, great.
I'm sorry, Lily, go ahead. Lily wanted to say something.
I just that I would be very interested in hearing what their program involves and how it would work in the village.
Okay, great.
Yes.
Okay, so I'll make a motion to negotiate with Hopper and RTS about potential bike sharing system in the Pittsford Mobility Zone. Do I have a second? Am I allowed to do that? I made the motion. Is that cool?
Okay. We have a vote?
I will second. Did someone second?
Bob did.
Okay, we have Bob seconded.
I already did.
Okay.
Okay, trustee Lampier,
Aye. Lampier, aye.
trustee Stetser,
That's her aye.
trustee Keating,
Eating eye.
Mayor Corby,
Corby, aye.
motion passes.
Okay, the next issue we have is the bill pay, and Dan just sent a memo. And I think we're ready to pay all the bills except for the one outstanding issue with the LWRP and Mindy Zoglin.
Yeah, and then there's one.
Anna, do you want to make any comments?
There's definitely one that I don't have response on. So I don't know if there's an issue on that one or not. And then there's the one that Frank raised. So
So the one that Frank is talking about, is that the LWRP for 75 Monroe? Is that
Yes.
the one we're talking about? Or the recent LWRP for the active transportation plan? Because I didn't think she was involved in that. I just wanted to make sure.
No, I believe this is 75 Monroe.
Okay, great.
5 invoice.
Okay, great. Thank you.
I think it is 75 Monroe. But we have the rest, so I would make a motion if Dan, I think he's recommending we pay them all except that. I'll make a motion and we need a second. Would someone like to second that?
to be clear, I'm recommending we review them. So I've reviewed them, but if, the general process has been I
Correct.
review
They
them,
would be-
bring them to you guys
They would be included with the next,
Aren't there
right,
some
they'll
that,
be included in the next set of vouchers that we approve, to clarify. Yeah, that is correct.
No,
Okay.
no.
Renee, you wanted to add something?
and Mary was asking in particular the ones from May and June for Osborne, Reed, and Zoglin, because
Can I
go ahead.
comment real quick?
Yeah.
Especially the Osborne, Reed, and Burke, everybody's been getting these invoices as they come along. So I would assume that the trustees have been reviewing the attorney bills. So I would hope at this point we could be okay to authorize the payment on these.
I would think so.
Okay. The math is right. Everything looks right. The Hudson Russ is about is less than $1,000, which is good. So I feel pretty good about them.
So the one we're saying we're not approving is
Okay, so we have a motion on the floor.
679 is the one we're not, so we're saying all of them except for 679?
All
From
of them for,
the Zoglin Group. We're omitting 679 from the Zoglin Group. That's correct.
Okay, and that's the one that
Okay.
Frank had concerns with as well.
yes. Yeah,
Okay,
it's one of
thank
the-
you. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I forgot that's actually
Okay.
the one that Susan has to, yeah, it's a good catch. So I'll make a motion to approve all of the
Okay, do we
outstanding
have a second?
attorney invoices except for 679.
Stetser,
Okay,
second.
we have a second. Thank you, Dan. But we already had a motion on the floor, so Dan actually made a second to it. Which
All
is
right, fair enough.
Dorothy, could we have a vote?
Yes, trustee Lanfair,
Lampier, aye.
trustee Stetser,
That's all right.
trustee Keating,
Keating, aye.
Mayor Corby. Mayor Corby,
Corby, aye.
motion
Okay.
passes.
Corby, aye.
I have it,
Okay.
motion passes.
Last item
Can't hear you.
we had, I don't think it really, oh, sorry, I gotta speak towards the speaker, pardon me. Last item we have is, we are being audited. I got the same letter that you received today, was addressed to me individually. In discussions with the comptroller's office, this is a standard follow-up to the village audit that was conducted 3 years ago. It will not be as lengthy as that audit is. They're basically just looking to see how we're doing. It's a little follow-up. We will probably require some additional time for Mary to work with the auditors, and that means that she may go over 20 hours in the next few weeks when this takes place.
Trustee
Dorothea,
Lanfair,
anything you want to add to that?
Nope, you pretty much said it all.
Okay.
Lily wants to
Lily, you
comment.
had a question?
I did. Did they offer any time frame? How long they felt?
No, we
No,
have to have
but it'll be happening in the near future.
We'll
Okay.
be having an opening meeting with them for the kickoff, and they're already started to request documents. So, and I'm not sure if they're actually coming into the office or they're going to be doing everything virtual. So we'll know more as we have that meeting.
Okay. That was my other question. So, yes, okay, thank you for the information.
There was another item on the agenda for
Okay,
DPW.
all right.
Actually, the DPW hire has been held off. The applicant hasn't responded to the offer, so we're waiting to hear back from him. So maybe he'll respond and we can use that Monday date to hire if needed.
Okay. And one other new thing to bring up, I heard from a couple residents about a guy in a Jeep who lives on your street, Lily.
I'm aware.
Speeding down Boughton. What's been done in the past? What can we do? What should we be doing? Because it's posing a danger and risk. I know you guys are aware of this. So what are some steps that we should take?
I know the sheriff has been alerted.
If we can get his license plate number,
The sheriff has been there.
does the sheriff have his license plate number, Lily?
I
Okay,
believe so.
okay. Mhm.
Yes, I
Does he
believe,
the
live?
problem is
He's a
continue-
village resident?
yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
So should we alert the sheriff again?
probably one of us in the neighborhood will be doing that fairly soon.
Okay. So I'll leave that with you, Lily.
All right, I have one,
Hold on a second, Bob. So Lily, we'll leave that with you. Oh, it looks like Lily's frozen.
let me bring up one other issue. There's a storm sewer problem on the line that goes from Monroe Avenue to the canal. We've done some research on it. Sophie is doing a document search to find out exactly who's liable for this section. It appears that when a new home was built in 1972, the property owner rerouted a section, a pre-existing section of storm sewer. And in doing so, to divert it around the pond and the house, they installed 2 pump stations which have not been maintained and have caused the line to fill with sediment and causing it to explode and the water to come out on the Drake property to Renee on Monroe Avenue.
Okay, yeah, I saw
there's some other
DPW out there working. Okay.
Yeah. The water is coming through the curb, so the DPW has burned up the median between the sidewalk and the curb to help stall some of the erosion taking place. We have some more discussions next week. We're having the DOT come out because they made some modifications that may have contributed to this problem. Another issue is that one of our concerns, so years ago when the Spiegel Center was being built, was that the town installed dry wells on that property. But because the system, and I've said this before, is at capacity, that may be contributing to sort of the blowouts that have been happening this year. So we have a lot of answers that we're tracking down. And as soon as we have conclusive answers about who's liable, whose responsibility, and what we find in the documents, I will be giving everyone an update. But just wanted to make
And
you
Doug,
aware of that.
Doug is home right now. So, and he and Joyce have okay, great. They've got a lot of history with the DOT on this one. Awesome.
I've talked to Doug, I've talked to Lori, and we've also talked to the Cindy, and I forget her husband's name, who lives in the house in the rears.
Okay,
So
great.
all the property owners we're in dialogue with. Okay.
Okay, awesome. Thank you,
All
Bob.
right. Thank you. I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
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 Any
Sorry,
objections?
I lost
Have
my-
a good afternoon, everybody. Okay, take care. Bye.
Bye-bye, everyone. Thank you.